Sagittarius, you're going to be rich, and your big family is about to be blessed in ways you didn't see coming. That's not a prediction. It's a divine preparation. What you're about to hear isn't just a message. It's a sacred appointment. You didn't arrive here by chance. Something in your adventurous soul has been pulling you toward this moment gently, persistently, almost whispering. Get ready. The aim is finally true. So, let me ask you this. What if today is the day that everything begins to shift? What if the arrow you shot into the dark years ago is finally landing exactly where it was meant to? What if the restlessness you've carried, the feeling of searching for a place to truly land, is the exact reason heaven has decided to move on your behalf? You, Sagittarius, are standing at the edge of a spiritual inheritance, one that doesn't just touch your bank account, but washes over your home, your loved ones, and every generation connected to your name. You've prayed while looking at the horizon. You've kept your faith when the path was foggy and the journey felt lonely. And yet here you are, still optimistic, still seeking, still listening. That means something. That means you're not just surviving, you're being prepared for overflow. What's coming isn't just money, it's divine provision. What's on its way isn't just a breakthrough for you, it's a covering for your family. This is ancestral healing. This is restoration for every time you asked, "When will my wandering lead to a reward?" The answer is now. Astrologically, Jupiter, your ruling planet of abundance and expansion, is moving through the part of your chart that governs home, roots, and legacy. Spiritually, the angels are showing signs. Sacred numbers like 888 and 111 showing up around you are not coincidences. They are confirmations. They are God's way of saying, "I've seen your journey and I'm establishing your ground." So, pause. Feel that. It's not nerves. It's alignment. It's your soul recognizing a rhythm that's always been meant for you. And here's the beautiful part. You are not rising alone. You're being called into a blessing that includes the people you love most. Your children, your parents, your partner, even the ones you had to distance yourself from to find your truth. This wealth is not loud or chaotic. It's steady. It's sacred. It looks like a paid bill, a full fridge, a peaceful night's sleep, and a heart that no longer fears the future. This is your turning point. If something deep inside of you is stirring right now, then don't dismiss it. Acknowledge it. Anchor it. Take your first aligned step by commenting below, "I'm ready to receive abundance for me and my family." Because saying it aloud, claiming it in front of the universe, is not just intention, it's agreement. Let me also take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude for your presence here. Every like, every comment, every share, and every subscription connects you more deeply to this spiritual family we're building together here at Cosmic Treasure. Your support fuels this space, and it allows us to continue delivering these transformational messages straight to your spirit. And Sagittarius, trust me, you will want to stay with me through every moment of this video, because what the universe is revealing next is nothing short of extraordinary. So, settle in. Take a deep breath. The miracle was never far away. It was always waiting for you to be ready. And now, you are Sagittarius. This moment you've arrived at is not just symbolic, it's sacred. What's unfolding around you now isn't random or rushed. It's precise. It's measured. And above all, it's been prepared in response to every private conversation you've ever had with the stars. The nights you looked up, wondering if your dreams were too big for your reality. The quiet tears that fell when your optimism hit a wall of cynicism. The moment you kept aiming your bow when your strength was whisper thin. Those weren't lost in the void. They were recorded in the rhythm of the universe. And that rhythm is shifting in your favor now, in the language of the stars. Jupiter, Your celestial guardian of luck, wisdom, and growth has begun its movement through your fourth house. This is no small transit. The fourth house is the place in your chart where soul and soil meet home, ancestry, family, emotional foundations. It speaks of the roots we came from and the legacy we are called to leave. With your ruling planet activating this space, the message is loud without shouting. The wealth you are stepping into is not just for you. It is generational. It is stabilizing. It is blessed. For many Sagittarians, this season marks the first time you've dared to believe that life could offer you a permanent sanctuary. That maybe, just maybe, you weren't sent here to wander forever, but to build a fortress of joy for those who come after you. That thought alone may feel radical, but that's because you are the cycle breaker. You are the one chosen to rebuild from truth, not illusion, from abundance, not scarcity. The tarot confirms what the skies already say. When the wheel of fortune appears ruled by your own energy, it's not about random chance. It's about destiny turning in your direction. It's about divine timing, delivering what your soul has been whispering for long before your voice could say it out loud. And when the Ten of Pentacles joins it, the message deepens. This is not momentary luck. This is foundational wealth. This is stability that expands and shelters those you love. Energetically, the appearance of sacred number sequences, 88 in particular, is your soul's signature in motion. This is the vibration of divine compensation, the restoration of balance where there has been lack, and the financial abundance that arrives when you no longer chase but align. This number isn't luck, it's alignment. It signals the arrival of provision, when faith outweighs fear, and when trust has been forged through fire. You may feel this shift already, not as a thunderclap, but as a subtle sense of readiness, a deeper inhale, a quieter heart, a sense that something new is not just possible, but inevitable. And if you felt even a flicker of that knowing, I want you to acknowledge it, speak it, anchor it, comment below. I'm ready to step into this season of blessing. Let those words become the first ripple of everything about to flow to you. Because sometimes the greatest healing isn't loud. It doesn't always announce itself in fireworks or grand events. Sometimes it shows up in the simple realization that you are no longer fighting to survive. You are beginning to receive. That's what this is. This is the soft return of everything that once felt withheld. It's the echo of heaven saying, now is the time. You are ready. And yes, you may feel unqualified, uncertain, even afraid. But here's what you must know. God does not wait for perfection to begin the blessing. He moves when you've proven your willingness to keep showing up, not in your strength, but in your surrender. And you, Sagittarius, have been so faithful to the vision. This is the divine exchange. What you poured out in silence is returning now in overflow. So breathe, soften, stay with me. You just stepped into your appointed time. Sagittarius, when we talk about wealth in this season of your life, we're not speaking about fleeting gains or shiny trophies. We're speaking about safety, about the kind of abundance that settles into the walls of your home and says, you're free now. This is the kind of wealth that doesn't demand to be seen, but can be felt in the soft closing of a front door, the warm meals on the stove, the quiet confidence in a child's eyes who knows their future is being looked after. That's real prosperity. And it's calling your name right now. The energy moving through your chart is tender and powerful. The fourth house, activated by Jupiter's divine movement, doesn't just deal with the roots of your life. It governs the roots of everyone connected to you. You are no longer just shaping your story. You are repairing a lineage. You are restoring balance to a tree whose branches were weathered by history, but whose roots remain strong. That means the blessings you're stepping into are not meant to be kept. They're meant to be passed down, poured out, multiplied. This is where legacy begins, not in the grand declarations, but in the everyday decisions to show up, to try again, to speak the truth with love, to choose softness over survival. It's the moment you decide that the story your family told themselves for generations, stories of lack, of hardship, of just getting by, ends with you. And in its place, you plant a new narrative, one of possibility, one of provision, one of peace. Numerologically, this season vibrates with the energy of the number 6, a number of home, love, restoration, and selfless compassion. In this space, healing is circular. What you give to others finds its way back to you, not as a transaction, but as a quiet miracle. When you love without condition, when you forgive before it's requested, when you bless even those who don't understand your journey, you become a generational healer that is not small, that is sacred work. The universe is giving you tools for this restoration. Symbolically, the color royal purple surrounds you now, asking you to embrace your role as a wise leader and a spiritual guide for your kin. This shade calls on your natural Jupiterian wisdom to honor where you've come from while expanding toward what comes next. Turquoise, your second energetic ally, is the color of healing, communication, and protection. It keeps your heart steady when emotions rise and reminds you that your intuition is not separate from your intelligence. It is an extension of it. So when you feel the urge to run, to hide, or to question whether you're truly capable of carrying this family blessing, I want you to remember you were chosen because you're strong enough to hold the weight and soft enough to transform it. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. You may be the first in your family to dream this big. And if that feels like a lonely path, know that you're not walking it alone. Others have dreamed through you, perhaps without language, perhaps without hope, but their prayers live in your spine. Their strength is your inheritance. If even part of you knows this is true, speak it into existence, claim it. Comment below. I will be the one who rebuilds the foundation for my family. Because writing that down, even in a comment, is no small act. It's a declaration. It's the first brick in the new house you're building. One filled with laughter, forgiveness, and open hands. And remember, Sagittarius, when you rise, your family rises with you, not because you carry them, but because you've opened the way. Sagittarius, as you continue walking through this sacred turning point, there's something deeper beginning to take shape beneath the surface of everything you thought this blessing would be. Yes, you're being prepared to receive, but more than that, you are being prepared to carry. You are not just a recipient of divine provision. You are its conduit, the gate through which abundance flows into your lineage, your home, your community. And that changes everything because there is a different kind of weight that comes with being chosen. Not just to be blessed, but to be trusted. The universe sees something in you that perhaps even you've overlooked. The quiet way you show up when it's uncomfortable. The instinct you have to uplift others with your truth, even when no one's looking. The steady faith you've held when outcomes were unclear. These aren't just traits, they are signals. And the truth is, you weren't just meant to receive the light. You were meant to become the door through which others find it. Imagine yourself now as a living doorway. You don't force people through it. You don't need to shout about it. You simply stay open, anchored, honest, and willing. You hold space. You offer warmth. You create permission. That's how healing often begins. Not with a plan, but with presence. The Six of Cups, which has shown up for you now, reminds us that sometimes what returns to us isn't what we expect, but what we need. A familiar name you haven't heard in years. A conversation you thought would never come. A moment of closure disguised as a quiet apology, or maybe an invitation to forgive someone who never found the words. Reconnection can be messy. It's rarely clean. But when it's real, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be sincere. This season might bring opportunities to heal what was once severed, To write the letter you never sent, to reach out without expectations, or simply to whisper within yourself, "That chapter no longer has power over me." That's what healing looks like sometimes. Not a full circle, but a soft letting go. And if you're ready, even just in part, to open your hands and allow space for reconciliation, declare it. Don't let it stay inside your chest. Speak it into the field of intention. Comment below. I open my heart to reconciliation 444, not because it's a guarantee, but because it's a beginning. In your quietest moments, take time to reflect on what you want your life to leave behind, not just in assets or achievements, but in values, in kindness, in courage. Write down 3 things you hope your life teaches your children, your community, or even strangers who never knew your name. Let those words be your legacy. Not later now, because you are already shaping the world around you with every small unseen act of love. Sometimes what people need from you is not advice. It's your optimism, your calm, your ability to see the bigger picture when everything else feels unsteady. And Sagittarius, you have that gift. You always have. That's why the universe is entrusting you with more. Because you've shown you won't hoard what's sacred. You'll extend it. You are the keeper of the gate now. Not because you demanded the role, but because you earned it through resilience, through tenderness, through every moment you chose to grow instead of guard. So take your time. Hold it with grace. You're not just part of the blessing. You are the blessing in motion. Sagittarius, by now you may already feel the energy stirring beneath your everyday routine. The inner knowing that something is shifting not only around you, but within you. What we've explored so far has been mystical, energetic, and ancestral. But now we arrive at the part where your soul meets the soil. Because even miracles, as divine as they are, require real ground to land on. You don't just wait for them, you make room for them. You become the kind of person who's already ready before they arrive. This is where you turn alignment into action, where sacred preparation becomes a quiet, steady act of devotion to the life you want to live. Let's begin with your finances. If you've been sensing a blessing coming, now is the time to build the container that can hold it. Sit down and create a 6-month plan, not out of fear, but from intention. Ask yourself, if I were already wealthy, how would I steward that gift? What would I prioritize, protect, or release? Wealth doesn't respond to panic. It responds to structure and purpose. When it comes to work, you may have already felt the friction, the restlessness, the sense that your gifts are outgrowing the environment they're in. If that's the case, trust it. The universe rarely disrupts what's meant to stay. Sometimes the discomfort is your invitation to step away from what's familiar, but no longer aligned, and towards something that matches the expansion of who you've become. Even if you don't know all the answers, the willingness to ask the right questions is already a form of action. In relationships, both romantic and familial, transformation doesn't require grand gestures. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is say what your heart's been holding. A simple, "I love you," "I'm proud of you," or "thank you for being here," can shift the energy in a home more than any ceremony ever could. Speak what's true for you without waiting for the right occasion. Love is always the right occasion. Now let's talk about the vessel itself, your body. You cannot pour from an empty one. As a fire sign, you burn bright, but you can burn out. If you've been feeling stretched, anxious, or on edge, your nervous system may be calling for your attention. Practice the 4-4-4 breathing rhythm. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4. Repeat this when thoughts race or tension builds. Since Sagittarius rules the hips and liver, movement is your medicine. A long walk, stretching, or simply hydrating with lemon water can clear stagnant energy. This is what living the law of attraction truly means. Not just thinking positive thoughts, but embodying readiness. Living today in a way that proves to the universe, I trust what's coming. So, I'm preparing now. That's not fantasy. That's faith in motion. So ask yourself gently, what part of your life are you preparing in silence? What dream are you shaping in the background, waiting for the right moment to reveal it? Comment below. 3 words that describe the vision you're nurturing. Let your declaration be the first ripple in the field. Because your miracle isn't something you chase, it's something you meet with open hands and a steady heart. And when it arrives, it won't feel like a surprise. It will feel like the next natural step in a life you've been quietly readying all along. Sagittarius, by now you may have already begun to feel the quiet shift, not only in your external life, but in your inner narrative. You've prepared, you've held steady, and you've made space. But there's one more step in this unfolding, and it doesn't involve doing more. It requires being more, not louder, not better, simply more open to accepting what's already been written for you. This is the moment to recognize your own worthiness, not in theory, but in your bones. Because here's the truth that so many carry silently. We've been taught to earn our miracles, to believe that we must perfect ourselves before we are trusted with abundance, joy, or love. But the universe doesn't operate through punishment or performance. It works in resonance. And worthiness isn't something you strive for. It's something you remember. You are not being rewarded for perfection. You are being met because you were willing. You were faithful in the unseen. You kept nurturing the vision when there was no applause. You showed up in the small things. And that is exactly where real abundance begins. Just like the seed that spits quietly underground in the dark, unseen and uncerebrated, you too have broken open in silence so that light can reach what's real in you. That is not failure. That is sacred becoming. You are no longer the person who simply waits and wonders. You are the one rising. You are the one who dares to carry light into spaces that never had it. And that's not just for you. It's for your whole line. You are the first one to turn survival into safety and safety into legacy. What's coming to you, wealth, healing, security, is the result. But the true inheritance you're leaving behind is love, resilience, and the quiet wisdom of presence. These are the seeds your children's children will harvest. If at times you still question whether you're worthy, remind yourself. The fact that you're here, still listening, still showing up, is evidence enough. The universe doesn't waste its timing. You are not late. Your blessing is not delayed. You are in perfect alignment with the unfolding. Miracles don't miss their destination. They arrive when the receiver is ready. And Sagittarius, you are ready now. This is the season to stop apologizing for your light, to stop shrinking for the comfort of others, to stop second-guessing what your soul already knows. You are enough. Not in spite of your wounds, but because you've grown through them. And if you've ever wondered whether your journey matters, know this. Someone is watching you quietly. A child, a friend, a sibling, someone who needed proof that you can survive the dark and still become something holy. You are that proof. So pause for a moment and reflect. Who believed in you when you forgot how to believe in yourself? Who offered you presence when the world gave you silence? Speak their name aloud, or better yet, write it in the comments below. Not to make it public, but to make it sacred. Let that name be a quiet offering of gratitude, because no blessing arrives alone. It's always tied to someone's faith, yours or theirs. And Sagittarius, this isn't the end. This is the part where the soil breaks and something beautiful pushes through. Not because it's easy, but because it's finally time. Miracles do not arrive early, and they never arrive late. They come when your roots are deep enough to hold them. And yours are, Sagittarius, you are going to be rich. But what's even more miraculous is that you will not walk into that abundance alone. This isn't just your victory. It's a shared rising, a family restoration, a quiet revolution unfolding from the inside out. Because true wealth doesn't end at the edge of your hands. It moves like a current through your home, your children, your community, and your legacy. And when you finally open the door to that kind of blessing, you're not just receiving a reward. You're stepping into a whole new chapter of who you're here to be. You've made it through a lot to get here. You've planted seeds no one saw. You've chosen belief when there was no evidence. You've held on in silence. And now, finally, things are shifting. The ground is responding. The harvest is near. And even though you may still be walking through parts of the unknown, the light is beginning to touch what once felt unreachable. So, as we close this sacred space together, I want you to pause and ask yourself, what if this blessing is not a conclusion, but a beginning? What if the financial breakthrough, the emotional peace, the unexpected opportunity? What if all of that is just the doorway to something even deeper? What if this is the chapter where your life starts to feel like a life you don't need a vacation from? A life that fits, that feeds you, that reflects the work you've done in the dark. Can you imagine it? A home filled with light. Dinner tables that echo with laughter. Envelopes you didn't expect arriving at the exact right time. A moment where everything aligns and you finally exhale and whisper, "We're safe now." That's the miracle, and it's closer than you think. But this is not the moment to wait passively. This is the moment to ground your faith in action. Prepare your life to receive. Make the plan. Speak the truth. Say what you've been holding back. Rest when your body asks. Give love before you're sure it's returned. That is how you meet the miracle halfway. If you feel that readiness stirring in your chest, write it. Speak it. Anchor it. Comment below right now. I am ready to prosper with the ones I love. 88. Let those words carry your vow forward. Let them become your echo in the universe. Let them be your silent prayer made visible. And if this message found you exactly when you needed it, share it. Pass it on to someone you love. Someone who needs to be reminded that they are worthy, that they are seen, that they are not late to their blessing. Let me take a moment from the bottom of my heart to thank you for being here. For every like, every comment, every moment you choose to return to this channel, you are nurturing this sacred space. And here at Cosmic Treasure, we are not just delivering messages, we're building a spiritual family. A family that believes in alignment, in healing, in the possibility of beginning again. So, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and come back often, because what's coming next might be the miracle that your soul has been waiting for. Sagittarius, true wealth begins with faith, and yours has already opened the door. Keep walking. You're not alone. And this is only the beginning.